Okay, so if you're watching this video, if you clicked on it, my guess is that you are someone who wants to get better at filming themselves on camera. So whether you want to get into YouTube, get better on Facebook Live, do some Instagram Live, some Reels, some TikTok, whatever it is, that's the latest thing out there. Or maybe you're an MM Jane and multimedia journalist, aka Wonder Woman. These are my best 3 tips to film yourself. Here we go. But before we go, if you want more storytelling tips and techniques, please subscribe to my channel. I am releasing new videos every single week, so you can get all the tips and tricks from me to be a better storyteller in front of and behind the camera. My name is Dr. Megan Adams, and I research and teach in the area of digital storytelling. I'm also a storytelling coach, so I work with clients to help them really get better at all types of storytelling. So whether it's writing, whether it's video, whether it's social media, whether it's storytelling for your business, this is what I love to do. I'm super passionate about it. I used to be a journalist and a teacher, and so again, I still teach. I'm not a journalist anymore, but these are things that I really love, and I'm here to share all of my knowledge with you. So thank you for being here. Okay, I'm laughing because filming yourself, y'all, if anybody has tried to film themselves, this can be a frustrating process. I swear every single time I say I'm going to film myself, it takes triple the time that I planned for, and there's always some technical thing, right? I remember specifically when I was an MMJ and a multimedia journalist, I actually had to set, it was a big camera, not a nice DSLR with a little flip screen, but it was a giant camera. You know, I'd put it up on the tripod, I'd be in a public place, I'd have to move it around 20 times till I got my shot right, and it was a great undertaking. So props to y'all who are doing that, and you know, trying to talk in public when people are around, and it's just, you don't have a cameraman, you feel really silly, right? So I get it. I know, trust me, I know that this process can be very intimidating. So I want to make it smoother for you all. If this is something that you want to do, in this video, I'm going to give you my top 3 tips to make it go hopefully a little easier. Okay, so my first tip is something that is sometimes overlooked. So you don't want to forget about your scene. So what's happening in the background of your shot? So this is a very generic shot. I'm in my house. I'm actually in the process of moving, so I don't have the pretty pictures up that I usually have to make this feel more like a home. A lot of vloggers you'll see, I think it's interesting. I see some teachers who are vlogging and they're set up in their classroom. A lot of people are in an office or a bedroom, but I think it's important to think about how the scene creates context. So especially if you are a journalist or if you are filming something outside and you want yourself to be in the video. I've seen some, oh man, some of my favorite MMJs. I'm just gonna give a shout out to my girlfriend Olivia. She's one of my dear friends, and she does a great job with this. So whenever she is out, you know, you can see what's going on in the background. She'll sometimes walk into the shot, so it's not so close up on her. And I really love that. It's something to pay attention to. I'll give you a word of caution though. You know, very few times this happens, but be careful about like what's happening in the background of your scene. Sometimes cars will buzz by and that will create a loud sound, or we've all seen those tapes where somebody's in the background, like, you know, making a silly face or something. So you do have to be aware. That can be very frustrating to get back to the studio or to get into editing and realize, oh, there's a plant coming out of my head, or a cone, or a person that I didn't see. So just be aware. Again, I know this from making that mistake myself several times. Just be aware of what's happening in the background. And I know there's a lot going on when you're filming yourself, especially when you don't have a camera person. You obviously want to make sure a lot of other things look good and that the content that you're delivering is good and that you're confident on camera, but don't forget about what's going on behind you. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, use a microphone. This seems very simple, but you'd be surprised how many times people forget to check audio, or they just have bad audio, or they're not thinking about audio. Much like you sometimes don't think about the scene in the background, thinking about audio is something that you want to be aware of. I'm in a room right now where there's a fan and there was an air conditioner. I turned the air conditioner off and a humidifier. I turned that off. Sometimes I've shot interviews and you can hear the refrigerator hum that can be distracting. Again, it just depends on how clean you want your audio, what you're going to be using it for, but be aware of it. I always put headphones in, and I will, like right now I have the camera set up, I will hit record, talk a little bit, check, run back behind the camera, hit play, make sure my sound is clean before I record a whole bunch of videos, right? There goes the truck. See, so again, sometimes it is out of your control, but as much as you can control it, think about it and do try to control it. And use a microphone. So I know that this is an investment for people who are shooting on a laptop or on a phone, but that is one of the things. I mean, DSLRs and phones shoot beautiful video, but the audio is not always the best. So in some cases, it's just a $40 investment for what we call a boom microphone. I would make that investment because I think audio is something that's really important, and it will set you apart from people who might not be seen as professionals. So, I mean, there are tons of options out there. Send me a message. I'd be more than happy to help you figure those out if you want to, but definitely use a microphone. Okay, so I want to pause for a second. What problems have you run into when you've been filming yourself? I think that this could be a thread of really funny stories. I will share some. I'm like laughing because there are so many of them that I'm thinking of. But let us know, what are your failures? I don't want to say celebrate the failure, but yeah, let's celebrate the failure. Let's learn from each other. Let's share these comments so we all know that we're all in the same boat and that maybe we'll learn something as we share our stories. So please do drop a comment below. I'd love to hear yours. I will definitely be sharing mine. Third tip to film yourself has to do with how your shot is set up. So if you're shooting vlog style, or even if you're shooting out in the field, if you're a broadcast journalist or a multimedia journalist, one thing that I would suggest is tilting the camera up ever so slightly. So this is a vlog style of filming, but there's a reason for it. The reason why people do that is because it does set you up as being more authoritative, right? And so we know this from World War II posters. A lot of the times, you know, these powerful leaders at the time, and you guys know this, they're shot up. A lot of sports figures are shot up, right? They're shot from this angle instead of looking down on someone, which gives the opposite effect. So I think in the world of selfies and online vloggers and YouTubers, we sort of already know this, but I think it's something to just remember to keep in mind, that it does affect the story or the perception of your video. You know, that camera setup of, again, are you tilting it slightly up? Is it being tilted slightly down? Or are you eye level with your audience? So think about that and what message that you want to convey as you film yourself. If you like these tips and you like hearing from me, I mean, I can be your storytelling bestie. Seriously, this is my goal in life. Please join my Facebook group. I created it, oh my gosh, it's been like over 6 months now, but it is growing, and there are hundreds of women from around the world in that group, and we are all coming together. I like to describe it as a magical place where we are sharing tips, we are encouraging one another, and you get to hear from me. You get more exclusive content from me about how to be a better storyteller, again, in front of and behind the camera. We also talk about audio storytelling and writing tips and writing for social. So just be there. It's a great space. It's a very welcoming and encouraging space, and I'd love to see you there. You can join by just searching Sisters in Storytelling and finding us on Facebook. If you like this content, please also subscribe to my page, because I do a lot of work to keep you updated every single week with a new video with a new tip or trick.